Hello students, welcome to CEP 123 Week 8. So you're going to write a midterm reflection and post it on Canvas on the discussion board. And then you're going to listen to some audio or view these slides and take notes as well. You're also going to be posting those notes on the discussion board. You will write a reflection in answer to the following questions and post it on a discussion thread on Canvas. Answer as many of the following questions as you can. The purpose for this reflection is to be aware and understand our thoughts and actions during the semester. What have you done well? In what areas can you improve? You can comment on your attendance to classes, grades, NSC resources you have used, time management, friends you've made, and/or study sessions. So after completing your own post, I want you to read posts by at least 2 of your classmates, and you can respond to them by either agreeing or disagreeing to something they mentioned in their post. You can also respond by connecting something they mentioned to something you yourself have experienced. Please practice taking Cornell notes, outlining, or sketch noting as you listen to this audio, and then submit those notes on the discussions board. The importance of writing. Instructors want to know if you can explain a concept in writing. So in this case, learning a concept equals to learning to write about a concept. Instructors may not comment on your writing, however, they are evaluating you based on how well you can write about what you learn in class. Instructors expect writing to be well thought out, to be organized, and to explain ideas fully. What is academic writing? Academic writing is writing produced in a college environment, writing that responds to other writing, writing that includes different types of writing, and writing that depends on an academic environment. Some misconceptions about writing include that it's only important in English classes, or that essays have to be 5 paragraphs long, or that school writing is simply a literary analysis. College instructors are more likely to assign writing, to respond in detail to student writing, and to ask questions that cannot be dealt with easily in a fixed form like a 5-paragraph essay. So within the different types of writing that you will encounter in college, you might be asked to summarize something, which means that you need to restate in your own words the main point or points of another person's work. You can also be asked to define something. When defining, you need to describe, explore, or characterize a concept. In classification, you group by shared characteristics and separate from other groups. With compare and contrast type of writing, you explore significant likenesses and differences. If you're asked to write an analysis, you need to break something into parts and explain how the parts work together. When writing an argument, you need to state a claim and support it with evidence. If you're asked to synthesize, you need to pull together pieces from 2 or more sources. You need to recognize what your professor is expecting from your writing. For example, if you get a what question, your professor is expecting you to summarize, to define, classify, or to compare. If they ask a why question, they're asking you to analyze, to provide an argument, or to synthesize. Pay close attention to verbal and written instructions, and listen for key terms. And remember to always ask questions. Sometimes you'll get an essay prompt that is too vague. For example, the one listed on your screen. If you do receive an essay prompt that is too vague, you might want to ask certain questions. For example, you can ask, which of the assigned readings should I concentrate on? Or, should I read other works by these authors that haven't been assigned in class? Should I research to see what scholars think about the way these philosophers view religion? Do you want me to pay equal attention to each of the three philosophers? Some other questions you can ask your instructor are, should I just summarize the positions of these three thinkers, or should I compare and contrast their views? Do you want me to argue a specific point about the way these philosophers approach religion? Would it be okay if I classified the way these philosophers think about religion? And please remember, never just complain about a vague assignment, because questions will likely engage your instructor in a productive discussion. Take a moment to write out the answers to the following questions. Question number 1. What kinds of writing have you practiced most in your recent past? Question number 2. Name 2 things that make academic writing in college different from writing in high school. Give examples from your own experience. Explain how the word what asks for a different kind of paper than the word why. Give examples from your own experience. These are a few tips for writing college papers. Title the paper to identify your topic. Address the terms of the assignment. Include an introduction that defines the topic and establishes the purpose. Build from a thesis statement. Develop your ideas. Integrate quotes, graphs, and illustrations. Connect ideas with transitions. Always document your sources. Be sure to edit your paper and to turn in a clean copy. It's important to think about the difference between a product and a process. And although you should keep in mind the product that you turn in, that is the essay or paper, you should be thinking, how will I get there? Writing is so complex, and instructors see writing as a way to learn. Pre-writing is the first step in the writing process. There's many things that you can do when pre-writing, and I'm going to go ahead and list a few of those. So you can discuss what you read, what you see, what you hear in class with another student in order to get some ideas for an essay or a paper. You can also use email to carry on a discussion about your writing with other students and also with the instructor or professor. You can engage in some brainstorming activities, and you can even keep a journal in which you respond to assigned readings from the class. You can ask and respond in writing to what, why, and how questions. And in your notes, you can respond directly to what others have written or said about a topic you are interested in. One last tip for pre-writing is creating an outline, which will also help you in the organization of your essay. When working on your first draft, you need to spend time developing your material. At this stage of the writing process, don't worry about punctuation and spelling. One way to begin revising your paper is to read your draft aloud. You'll be able to catch a lot of the mistakes that you've made, or it will indicate things that you're missing in your draft so that you can start to correct them. So what is the difference between revising and editing? When you're revising, you're looking at the organization as a whole. You're moving paragraphs around. During revising, you're clarifying the thesis. You're connecting supporting points to the thesis. You're also cutting material that is unnecessary or irrelevant. At this point, you can also add a new point to strengthen or clarify in any one of your paragraphs. Now, when you're editing, you're looking at sentence level corrections that involve punctuation, subject-verb agreement, shifts in verb tense, shifts in point of view. You're also looking at the word level. You're looking at spelling, word choice, and repetitiveness. So what if you need help with your writing? You can ask your instructor or professor, you can ask me, or you can go to the Writing Center for extra help. If you click on the image on the screen, it should take you to the website for the Writing Center. We briefly spoke about cheating in our last chapter. Now, for plagiarism, it's important to know how to avoid it. Remember that words and ideas are intellectual property, and it's best to not have more than 20% of your word count be direct quotes. In fact, if you use APA style formatting, then a paraphrasing is preferred. The things that you don't have to cite are things like common knowledge that are easily accessed and found in multiple sources that all agree. And bear in mind that there are several different types of styles when formatting your document. For example, APA, MLA, Chicago. So it's important to find out from your professor how they want you to format your paper. Writing in class essays. In order to prepare for writing your best essays within a time limit, make sure to make writing a regular part of your study routine. Once you're in the classroom and writing that timed essay, be sure to read the prompt carefully and look for key words. You can always pre-write on a scratch piece of paper or on the margins of the exam. Be sure to keep track of time, reserving a few minutes to edit at the end. Group writing projects. When writing in a group, be sure to start early and meet regularly. Also, be sure to assign roles with some overlap. That means that more than one person is doing the same job just to make sure all your bases are covered. If you're the team leader, be sure to be a good and organized team leader. And then, once you've completed the writing part of your first draft, be sure to review, revise, and edit together so that it sounds like a complete, coherent, flowing document instead of pieces by different people. For online classes, everything that I've already mentioned applies to online classes as well. However, you also need to keep in mind that because everything is written, every written communication should be treated as if writing a processed essay. That means that you should probably be planning, drafting, revising, and editing before you post any writing online or before you communicate with your professor.